You walk into the kitchen, you stand there, you look around, and you have absolutely no idea why you came in here. You had a clear plan 10 seconds ago, but now, total blank. So you walk back to the living room and, oh yeah, the remote. You head back to the kitchen, and you forget again. It happens to everyone. Old, young, smart, distracted, doesn't matter. And there's an actual scientific name for it. It's called the doorway effect. And what it reveals about your brain is kind of insane. For most of human history, people thought they were going crazy or getting old. But in 2011, researchers at the University of Notre Dame ran an experiment that changed everything. They had volunteers pick up an object from one table and carry it to another. Half walked across a single room. The other half walked through a doorway into a different room. Same distance, same task. But the results were shocking. The people who walked through the doorway were dramatically worse at remembering what they were carrying. They forgot the object. They forgot the goal. Just from walking through a doorway. The researchers thought it was a fluke, so they ran it again. Same result. They ran it in virtual reality. Same result. The brain was still triggered, even by pixel doorways. They tried multiple doorways. The more doorways, the worse the memory. They started calling this the doorway effect. And this wasn't a bug, it was a feature. Your brain was doing this on purpose. Which raised a weirder question: why would evolution design a brain that forgets on command? The answer is something psychologists call event boundaries. Your brain doesn't experience life as one continuous stream. It chops everything into segments, like chapters in a book. The kitchen scene, the bathroom scene, the conversation scene. When you cross from one to another, your brain hits a mental reset button. It packages up the old scene, files it away, and clears the workspace for the new one. Doorways are one of the strongest physical boundaries. Walking through a door tells your brain something new is starting, so it dumps the old information. Think about how much information you process in a day. Thousands of moments, conversations, decisions. If your brain held all of that in active memory at once, you would be paralyzed in minutes. So your brain compresses everything. Event boundaries decide what to archive. It is a constant cleanup process. The downside is sometimes important things get archived too early, like what you needed from the kitchen. Doorways are not the only boundaries. A movie ending, a phone call ending, even changing tabs on your computer. Anything that signals a scene change triggers this. Your whole day is one long sequence of mental resets. You only notice when you wanted to remember something. This gets worse with stress and age. When you are stressed, your working memory shrinks. When you are tired, the cleanup runs more aggressively. And as you get older, your filing system gets noisier. A stressed 45-year-old walking through 3 doorways will lose their thought completely. A calm 25-year-old can walk through 10. It is not intelligence, it is how much your brain dumps at each threshold. So how do you stop this? There are tricks. First, say it out loud. I am going to the kitchen for the remote. Verbal commitment encodes the goal in 2 memory systems, not 1. Second, hold a clear image of the object in your mind as you walk. Visual imagery resists deletion. Third, take something physical with you. Even your phone in your hand can serve as an anchor. Fourth, do not cross multiple doorways in a row. If you need to go to 3 rooms, write it down before you start. Here is the wild part. The doorway effect is not a flaw. It is evidence of how brilliantly your brain manages limited resources. Your brain has only a few seconds of active memory at any moment. Without event boundaries, you would remember everything you ever thought, all at once. That sounds great until you realize that is basically hyperthymesia, a condition where people cannot forget. Every person with it describes it as exhausting, overwhelming, a curse. So when you forget what you wanted in the kitchen, that is not your brain failing. That is your brain doing its job. Just sometimes a little too well. Next time it happens, do not panic. You are not losing your mind. You just walked through a doorway and your brain did exactly what evolution designed it to do. Walk back to where you started. The memory usually comes back. Returning to the original room often triggers the reverse. The information rebuilds itself, and you remember the remote. Right. Now, if you can just remember why you wanted it. The end.